Hey there, Coastal Bend. It's Meteorologist Carly Smith. We are here to discuss everything about the tropics that you need to know as we kick off this Thursday. So thank you everyone for watching. We're going to get into the details now. So basically, the three things that you need to know, those are still pretty much the same that I was talking about yesterday. So as it loads, but basically we've got more tropical moisture that's headed our way. Rain chances are still expected to go up. The exact amounts, there's a lot of discrepancy in the forecast data for those exact amounts of rainfall, but when you get tropical rain, you get the odds of that locally higher amount of tropical rainfall is really going to be what is a main concern across the area, because you get some really locally higher rainfall totals there. These are the main three things that you need to know, and we'll get into your chance of development next. So right now, 40% chance of development that is set up across the coastal or across the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern corner of the Gulf of Mexico to be exact. So this area is what we are watching. The 20% chance that's in the Atlantic, not going to be a threat for Texas. Actually, it does look like that 20% chance in the Pacific may kind of be what crosses over and leads to some of that development in the southwestern Gulf. But yeah, 40% chance of development. And here's definitely what we know. Well, that's the three things to know. Now here we go. So we've got the tropical moisture, right? All of this tropical moisture is really this is just normal moisture in place right now coming off the Gulf of Mexico, leading to our scattered rain showers that we've seen off and on throughout the day. So the current look at our radar imagery, let me find it real quick. So here's our latest look at radar, where we are seeing the spotty showers showing up. A rumble of thunder can't be rolled out. Even some tropical funnels still going to be expected throughout the day today. So as this loads, you don't see it loading on your screen, but I'm struggling with the load that's happening here in the newsroom. But regardless, thank you all for watching. Please post your questions so I can answer them and get everything out that you need to know. But once again, those main three things are going to be tropical moisture going up, not expecting direct impacts from any system that does develop. Now, there are signs that the system could become a tropical depression or a tropical storm, but it is expected to kind of meander in that southwestern area and then make its way west-northwest, more toward Mexico. So this software is just not being my friend today, but what you see here, what we're looking at, what's on your screen, that is moisture. It's called precipitable water, so PWAT is what we look at when it comes to the model, and that shows just how much moisture is in the atmosphere and able to maybe be developed into rainfall. What we see live now on the radar, that it's finally loaded, we've got some scattered showers showing up. So San Patricio County from Portland to Refugio into Refugio County there, Rockport, B County, all of these areas are looking at a lot of rainfall, or a lot of pockets of rainfall. Not a lot of rain actually falling, but a lot of pockets of rainfall. This is kind of the hot spot. You see some outflow boundaries. So a lot of these showers are not lasting very long. They kind of pop up, let out all the rain, and then fall. Also, what's going on, a fun fact, is the wind direction. So if you were watching, it was during, I think, the GMA cut-ins, we had winds that were going this way. So at the surface, they were onshore, very calm. And then in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we've got some really strong kind of westerly winds showing up, and that kind of split the storms apart that were developing there into Ingleside and Aransas Pass early this morning. Now, not seeing quite as much of that split, but regardless, you really saw that storm, just kind of the top layer just being pulled away from that core layer. And so that just allows the storms not to last for very long. So it looks like we'll have a little bit less of that. It'll be more of a north versus southeast push as we head into this afternoon, which will allow those storms to develop a little easier when the shear isn't directly like opposite of each other. But regardless, spotty showers still expected. And we see that chance for tropical funnels. Well, actually the wind stays pretty calm even in the upper levels of the atmosphere today, unless I didn't save this right, which I think I did. But it stays relatively calm in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which may limit our tropical funnel activity. Yeah, that's high. So regardless, moisture and calm winds at the surface do lead to a higher chance of seeing those tropical funnels, but they rarely reach the ground, so it's not a big concern of mine at this time. But we have moisture. Let's go back to this precipitable water. So at 3 p.m., I would say more so around lunchtime. We could see some rain here in the coastal bend. And by coastal bend, I mean Corpus Christi. Deborah, where are you wanting to know when the rain could fall? I'll show you Futurecast in just a second. Actually, we can just go ahead and show that if it loads. Fingers crossed. Zeke, don't scare it away. I love that. And good morning, Eva. Thank you for watching. This computer, I think when you add the tropical data, it's like a lot of data, and so it kind of is a little sluggish. But so lunchtime is really the best opportunity for rainfall. That's in 2 hours for Corpus Christi, Ingleside, Rockport, Mathis, but it is very spotty, so there's no guarantee of rain. It's just very spotty action across the region. Shifts inland by 3 p.m. and then weakens into the evening. So not expecting a ton of rain, but there is some spotty rain. Rain chances go up as our tropical moisture goes up. So you see it's very light there as we head into this afternoon. It goes down over the weekend. So you see all the orange colors, that is dry air. But then once we tap into, once this high, so the high pressure is going to slide over Atlanta and the southeast. As that happens, what we are going to see is the tropical moisture being funneled in, especially as that low develops, as that trough sets up over kind of southern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, and the Bay of Campeche. As that trough sets up, that also helps funnel in some tropical moisture. However, there is a caveat. If the low becomes stronger or lower, developing into a storm and has a tighter pressure gradient, that's going to keep a lot of the rain further to our south. We may not end up with as much rain as we hoped when we first started forecasting this tropical moisture and tropical setup. But regardless, we're in this path where tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico will be brought up across the Texas coast and into Louisiana, and that's still going to lead to rain. It's just how much is still a bit of a question mark still at this point. Today is Thursday. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday is really the first day we start to see the rain chances going up, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday may even be trending higher. So you'll see here, this is keeping some of the higher amounts between Corpus Christi and Brownsville. The GFS model, the American model, let's see if we can look at the rainfall totals. So what I'm about to show you is purely model data. Well, let's look at the KML precip. I haven't even checked this out. So this is through Wednesday of next week. This is from the Weather Prediction Center. It is not my exact forecast, but it's people whose job is to figure out how much it's going to rain across the United States. They do it for the whole area, so it's not a very specific to our location forecast, but it is showing higher amounts along the coast and then less rain inland. And that's where we have been talking as well. Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt showed this graphic as it loads, not this one that's on your screen, the one I'm looking for. He showed this graphic, and I still agree with it. But the GFS model, one of the models, it's the American model, if you are familiar with American and European. The American model does keep higher, big-time rainfall, pretty much like kind of Beeville south toward Brownsville. The European is still trending this way, and it does tend to be the more accurate model during tropical season. They've been adjusting the American model to do better. But I would trust the European model, at least this time, this far out, that we get the higher totals along the coast, just like the weather prediction model was saying, and then a little bit lower the further inland you go. And unfortunately, the watershed, it doesn't look great, especially with this system not making it north, like going northwest. It's going to be a little bit more west, have more of a westerly component, and that's not going to put a lot of rainfall further inland, and it does weaken as it moves over land as well late into next week. So not a great opportunity for rain in our watershed, but at least there's some rain because the latest drought monitor did come out this week. So you see, this shows the change, if it will go back. Sometimes, there it is. This is last week, and now this is this week. So we have seen an increase in moderate drought across the coastal bend, severe drought conditions starting to show up into southern Refugio County. So that's not good. We don't want to continue on this trend. If we can't water our yards, we at least want the rain to keep us drought free. So any rain that we get is going to be a good thing, especially with the nearing stage 3 drought restrictions. We're halfway there right now. We're at 25.5% for our combined lake levels, and of course stage 3 starts at 20%. So that is not great. Sorry, I'm checking something on my phone really fast and checking your comments. Yeah, for a second I thought 25.5 was too low for combined lake levels. Nope, that's right, that's where we're at. So yeah, not great. We don't love to see that by any means. Okay, we have Rosa that says, what about Kingsville? Kingsville, your chances are better noon to 3 p.m., but it's not a great opportunity for rainfall the further away from the coast that you are. What are these clouds called? We've got a lot of cumulus / towering cumulus, and then some cumulonimbus. Any cloud that's producing the rainfall right now is a cumulonimbus cloud. Otherwise, I haven't checked all the cloud action. So this is it's kind of like a stratusy cloud / cirrus cloud when the thunderstorms grow and then they dissipate. But where we've got the rain, which is, you can see looking across North Beach into San Patricio County, that's rain. That would be a cumulonimbus cloud. So anything that isn't towering and big and scary looking, that's going to still be in the family of cumulus. Nimbus is once it starts producing rain. That's where the word nimbus comes from. What says through Wednesday? So through Wednesday is possibly up to 2 inches of rain, but that's an early forecast. Don't hold my word on it. Don't hold your breath on it. Higher rainfall totals along the coast through Wednesday, and then less rainfall into the watershed through Wednesday. Yeah, it did. That graphic did say through Wednesday. So that is next Wednesday. So here's Futurecast, which takes where we talked about the precipitable water forecast, the moisture forecast. This is going to show an outcome of how that plays out. Now, it's not great because what we look at on this Futurecast is model data, and the model data isn't exact. This shows today, so with the precipitable water we have today, we're expecting some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms, which we're seeing now mostly north of Corpus Christi. As the high pressure slides a little bit further south into the weekend, our rain chances will go down. This model's still keeping some of those isolated showers really Friday and Saturday, but overall that opportunity is looking pretty slim as our precipitable water decreases in the atmosphere those 2 days thanks to the high pressure also. What happens on Sunday? We start to see a front that's stalled out in the Gulf, which is helping spin up this action, starts to lift back north. That brings up the tropical moisture initially, and by Monday morning along our coast we are expecting some rain. That shifts inland into Monday evening, and then we'll see what happens is how strong this low develops. So the tighter that gradient, the tighter the low gets, the less rain we're going to see. The more broad the low is, the more rain we're going to see, right? Because it keeps a lot of the moisture and the convection. Further south, the tighter it is, the more broad it is, it spreads it out more. And it's not as heavy as a concentrated rainfall, but it spreads it out. And so that's what we want to see, is it stay broad. Everyone would like to see that because it lowers the wind speeds as well. The tighter the gradient, the faster the winds are going to be. But as you see, by Wednesday, we have likely a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm trying to develop there in that southwestern Gulf of Mexico. This is expected to drift west into Mexico, but it kind of hangs out in that area, and it does keep rain in the forecast well into next week. So that's what we're looking forward to. This is a possible forecast. When it comes to the long range model data, it's low resolution. So we like the high resolution model data because it's more detailed, but in order to go 7-10 days out, you've got to lower the resolution. And so it's kind of like staring at something without your glasses on. And then when you put your glasses on, you get the high resolution. If you're somebody with vision difficulty, I wear glasses, so that's why I'm talking about that. But yeah, so it just sharpens things up. Or it's kind of like a camera. When you focus the lens, you see clearer. When you're not in focus, you don't see as clear. And we have to do that in order for the model to reach that many days out. We have to loosen some of those stipulations so the computer can process it in an amount of time that's usable to us. That's why our high resolution data really only goes out, well, there's some that are only 18 hours out, and then there's some that are 48 to 60 hours out. So that's just a breakdown of how the modeling works. It's not great when we show you green blobs there on the map, but it is a good indication that there's going to be rain in the area. It's just not a great indication of exactly where the rain is going to set up and how much we'll see. So that is my soapbox for today. This is going to pick up our wave heights. So what you see in the Gulf of Mexico is going to be higher waves, longer periods. Now the periods still aren't great. Like if you know anything about surfing, the periods are still going to be 8-9 seconds, and as the waves get bigger, if the footage is just as long as the period, it's not great. It's still not producing a great wave, especially for surfing, but it is going to increase that rip current risk still and allow for the water to make it a little bit further up the beach. So not a great beach day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We could see some minor coastal flooding. We could see some dangerous rip currents developing, because the more that water goes up on the beach, the stronger it is going to be rushed out as well. So the rip currents get stronger when the periods get longer and the waves get bigger. And that creates a dangerous situation because you have the water rushing out, and then you also have big waves that you're fighting. And so if you're not prepared for that, it can easily turn very hazardous very fast. And so the fatalities due to high surf has actually gone up over the last 10 years versus storm surge. That's actually lowered. So the percent of people dying in high surf from systems that are not making landfall anywhere near where the surf is high, that is causing more deaths than storm surge from a direct impact over the last 10 years. So this is something to really pay attention to and take seriously if you do have plans or know somebody that has plans to go to the beach. So the sun is setting more to the northwest because it's further. The Tropic of Cancer is still to our south, but once we get to summer, the direct rays are over that Tropic of Cancer, so it appears to be a little bit more northwest just based on the tilt of the Earth. But that is what has to do with it, Linda, is we're in summertime, so we're getting longer. The sun is staying up longer, so it's higher in our horizon versus in the winter when it's lower in the horizon and further south, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right, one of the other positive things about this forecast is with the chance of rain, our temperatures are expected to trend cooler also. So that is a big plus. Once this loads, I'm gonna leave you with our 7-day and then we will be done. Oh no, Steven, I just finished talking about everything, but the main thing you need to know is rain chances go up. So here on the 7-day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when tropical moisture arrives and we see our rain chances trending up, temperatures trending down. The main concern is the chance for some heavy rainfall, and then additionally high surf and rip current risk is going up into next week as well. Nothing too crazy is expected. We could get a tropical depression or a tropical storm into next week, but that's not going to make a direct impact here in the coastal bend. It'll stay there in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to end this Facebook Live now. For 3 News, I'm meteorologist Carly Smith.